Hello students, this is Dr. S.R. Dandaute from Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. I welcome you to this fourth video on sound engineering and first for ultrasonics. In first for three videos, we have seen different properties, different parameters and their usefulness in acoustics. Now, in the present and the coming video, we shall be discussing about ultrasonic waves, their production and applications in various fields. The objective of the present lecture is to discuss the two methods used for production of ultrasonic waves, which are piezoelectric method and magnetostriction method. In previous lecture, we have seen various parameters affecting acoustics of hall and their remedies. Now, let us have discussion on production of ultrasonic waves. We know that ultrasonic waves are the sound waves which have frequency between 20 Hz and which are having frequency greater than 20,000 Hz. If the frequency of sound waves is from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, it is called as audible sound. But if the frequency is greater than 20,000 Hz, that sound is not audible to us and it is called as ultrasound. So there are commonly used two methods to produce ultrasonic waves. Human beings cannot detect ultrasonic waves, as ultrasonic waves are having very high frequencies, means their wavelengths are shorter, and this shorter wavelength ultrasonic waves finds their applications in various fields. In next lecture, we will be discussing about these various applications. Ultrasonic waves can be propagated through all type of media. So commonly used are two methods as piezoelectric and magnetostriction method. The normal methods which are used to produce audible sound cannot be used to produce ultrasonic waves due to higher frequencies. At higher frequencies, the diaphragm of speaker cannot vibrate and hence that method is not applicable. The principle on which piezoelectric method works is inverse piezoelectric effect. By this method, ultrasonic waves having frequency greater than 100 kHz are possible, and the oscillator that produces ultrasonic waves is called as piezoelectric oscillator. So before we see inverse piezoelectric effect, it is necessary to understand what is basically the piezoelectric effect. So for understanding piezoelectric effect, the crystal like quartz is considered. This piezoelectric effect is true for the crystals like quartz or tourmaline. So by considering its crystallographic study, two axes are predefined. One axis is called as mechanical axis. Suppose this vertical axis is mechanical axis. That means the axis along which the crystal undergo deformations, that is called mechanical axis. And the axis which is perpendicular to it is called as electrical axis. So this axis is electrical axis. Now, if such a crystal is subjected to pressure, see these inward arrows are shown, that means the crystal is pressed or crystal is compressed. Then it is observed that electric charges are developed on two opposite surfaces along electrical axis, means along a perpendicular direction. So this phenomenon of development of opposite polarity charges on two opposite surfaces when the crystal is subjected to pressure is called as piezoelectric effect. Instead of pressure, we can consider tension also. Okay, so now this is first stage. When the same crystal is further stretched, when tension is applied to the crystal, it will stretch the crystal along mechanical axis. Interestingly, it is found that the polarity of the charges gets reversed. This surface was initially showing positive type of charge. Now it becomes negative, and on this surface the charges are found to be positive. So this way, if the crystal is subjected alternately to tension and pressure, then this polarity alternately changes. This is fundamentally called as piezoelectric effect. Now what happens in inverse piezoelectric effect? Exactly, it is opposite to piezoelectric effect. Means what? Suppose initially this quartz crystal is taken, and to this crystal the voltage potential difference is applied. This negative polarity is applied along the surface and positive along the surface. Now if such a potential difference is applied along two faces of the quartz crystal, then it as shown in this diagram, we will consider it will contract, it compresses the crystal. Now if the applied voltage is of alternating type, then in the next half cycle the same crystal will be expanded. That means in the next half cycle, here it will be positive polarity and this side negative. So initially it was compressed. Now in the next half cycle it will be expanded. That means under the action of alternating type of voltage, the crystal is continuously alternately compressed and expanded. So this is what called as inverse piezoelectric effect. Further, when the frequency of applied voltage matches with the frequency of natural frequency of vibration of the rod, then it will cause resonance, and that time ultrasonic waves having highest amplitude will be produced. This is most important phenomenon used for the production of ultrasonic waves. The frequency with which the crystal vibrates is given by the formula F is equal to P upon twice T square root of Y by rho, where P takes different values like 1, 2, 3, etc. So for P is equal to 1, it gives fundamental or tonal frequencies. For P is equal to 2, or for remaining values of P, it gives overtonal frequencies. Like for P is equal to 2, it is called as first overtonal frequency. For P equal to 3, it will give second overtonal frequency, and so on. Y and rho stands for Young's modulus and density of the material of the crystal, and T is the thickness of the crystal. The point to be remembered here is that though the title of the method is piezoelectric method, it works on the principle of piezoelectric effect. Now with this simple block diagram, we will see how production of ultrasonic waves takes place by means of piezoelectric technique. Here we have the crystal taken under normal condition. Now the function, this piezoelectric oscillator is taken in the form of block diagram. Actually it has its own electronic circuitry. The output of this oscillator is in the form of alternating voltage. So when this piezoelectric oscillator runs, it gives alternating voltage, and this alternating voltage when supplied to the crystal during first half cycle, as per this diagram, crystal will be stretched. Then during next half cycle, same crystal will be compressed. This way, under the action of alternating voltage, the crystal is continuously alternately stretched and compressed so that it will set into vibrations, and under resonance condition, the ultrasonic waves having highest amplitude are produced. Next method is magnetostriction method. By this method, ultrasonic waves having frequency up to 100 kHz are produced, and it works on the principle of magnetostriction effect, and it uses magnetostriction oscillator in it. The working principle is magnetostriction effect. So for that purpose, a rod, ferromagnetic material rod like nickel or iron is taken. So this rod is taken initially having some length. Now if this rod is subjected, or if it is kept in uniform magnetic field parallel to its axis, parallel to its length, then it is observed that the length of the rod undergo change. The change in the length of the rod is independent of the sign of the magnetic field. However, it depends upon the magnetic field strength as well as nature of the material. So simply, the change in the length of the rod when it is under the action of magnetic field, uniform magnetic field, is called as magnetostriction effect. Moreover, if the rod is placed in a coil carrying alternating current, then it will suffer the change in the length. Due to alternating type of current, the change in the length will be of alternating type, means the rod will be stretched and compressed alternately. And because of that, when the frequency is increased, when the frequency of the applied current is increased, due to that the frequency or the rate at which the length of the rod changes, that will also increase. At a certain stage, when the frequency of the alternating current matches with the natural frequency of vibration of the rod, there will be a condition of resonance and ultrasonic waves having highest amplitude will be produced. Then the formula for frequency of vibration is same to that of piezoelectric effect with only one change. Here instead of T it is L, that is length of the rod. Otherwise remaining these three parameters are same. Y and rho stands for Young's modulus and density of material of the rod, and different values of P gives tonal and overtonal frequencies. Even by this block diagram we can explain the mechanism of these ultrasonic waves by same technique. Instead of piezoelectric oscillator, it is thought to be magnetostriction oscillator, and its output is also in the form of alternating type. So here we have alternating type of field that stretches and compresses the crystal alternatively and under the condition of resonance, that means when the frequency of applied signal matches with the natural frequency of vibration of the rod, resonance takes place and ultrasonic waves having highest amplitude are produced. So this way, using these two methods, piezoelectric method which works on the principle of inverse piezoelectric effect and magnetostriction effect which works on the principle of magnetostriction method, ultrasonic waves are produced. In the next lecture, we will discuss about applications of ultrasonic waves in various fields. Thank you.